Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. Wednesday evening, plenty of sports coming your way, and these are the headlines. Brendan Rodgers' boys thrashed their local rivals. Liverpool beat Everton 4-0. Manuel Pellegrini and Manchester City could rise to the top tonight. Sports are the field in which the difference in salary between men and women is one of the biggest. Is there any chance for change? The Knicks hosted their historic rivals, the Celtics, but there was no real rivalry this time, as the team from Madison Square Garden cruised to an easy victory. And we take you on a tour around the world with some conventional disciplines, but some rather crazy. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. We are live from the Jaffa Port. The Premier League was back from its short break for some midweek action. There were great expectations from the Merseyside derby, as Liverpool and Everton are enjoying good seasons, but it was a one-team show. Liverpool thrashing Everton 4-0 at Anfield, Daniel Sturridge scoring twice, Stevie G and, of course, Luis Suarez adding one each, giving manager Brendan Rodgers a lot to celebrate for.
With a brilliant team performance, it was real good defensive organisation, outstanding on the counter-attack and controlled our spaces really well. So clinical in front of goal, scored 4 goals and could have had arguably 2 or 3 more. But a brilliant win for us and delighted for everyone.
Manchester City will climb to first if they win tonight, but they face Tottenham in White Hart Lane. The Spurs enjoying an excellent run since Team Sherwood took over, 16 points in 6 games. And visiting manager Manuel Pellegrini knows that Tottenham and other teams can also join the championship race.
No, I don't think that we are just 3 teams involved in the title. I think that Tottenham continue with chances, Everton continue with chances, Liverpool continue with chances, and Manchester United continue with chances. In football, you never know. And we have to play 48 points more, and if you add 48 to 37, it's 85. It's an important amount of points.
And here are all of the results from England. Arsenal dropping 2 points at Southampton, which may cause them lose the leadership for the first time in a very long time. Juan Mata made his debut for Manchester United as they beat Cardiff 2-0 at Old Trafford. And in another interesting match tonight, Chelsea will try to keep the pressure on the leaders as they host West Ham for a London derby. Arsenal still on top with 52 points. Manchester City is second with 50 and Chelsea is third with 49, but both with a game in hand. So the top of the Premier League could look different after the games tonight. Liverpool climbs to 4th after their impressive win, and Manchester United are 7th, but far behind the leaders. Chelsea, as we've seen, are strong in the race, but they lost 2 substantial players in the January transfer period. After Juan Mata completed his move to Manchester United, Michael Essien makes the switch from the Blues to Milan and was already presented as a new Rossoneri. The move ends his 8.5-year spell at Chelsea after arriving to the club in 2005 from Lyon. The first-team opportunities for the 31-year-old at Stamford Bridge had been limited in the current campaign, and he therefore opted to pursue a career in the Serie A. With the World Cup just a bit over 4 months away, the national teams participating use every possible opportunity for warm-up matches. One of them will be held tonight in Austin, Texas, which will surely feel like home for Mexico as they face South Korea, 2 countries that qualify to the tournament in Brazil. The one big surprise in the Mexican squad is that manager Miguel Herrera has called his first European-based player, Diego Reyes, who plays currently for Porto in Portugal. Other than Reyes, all the players in the squad come from the Mexican League. Differences in salaries between men and women are still, unfortunately, a common affair. In sports, it seems the gap is even wider. Why is the difference so big when it comes to sports? Is there any chance for a change? And how many people think the situation is justified? Liz Barenboim with the answers.
When one talks about gender equality, sports unfortunately don't act like a role model. Despite France's intention to pass a law concerning professional equality, sports remain the bad guy. Even the success of mixed pairs in tennis like Alizé Cornet and Jo-Wilfried Tsonga doesn't change the situation. Machismo and outdated quotations are still happening. Laurent Blanc, for example, and his sexist commentaries to a Swedish sports journalist are not unusual. The same goes to PSG star Zlatan Ibrahimovic. When being compared to Lotta Schellin, Sweden's best female football player, he answered that men and women's performances can't be paralleled. That opinion was definitely not condoned by his female counterparts.
The difference I'm talking about is only physical, regarding the game itself. I think we have no reason to envy the boys technically.
Female competitions are increasingly followed, especially due to the sportswomen's fair play and technique, which are appreciated by the public.
We are not used to see girls running like that. Furthermore, they play really well, compared to boys who do not play that well. So it's a real breath of fresh air to see that.
However, the female performances remain less impressive than their masculine counterparts. This examination of the records proves it. In most sports, women are less powerful than men. In track races, women are on average 11.45% slower than men. In the water, they are 10.11% slower, and in jumps, 18.9% less efficient. One question remains: are wage differentials between men and women related to the deviation of performance? If the prizes in Grand Slam tournaments like the French Open or Wimbledon are similar, the ratio explodes in other disciplines. Football players earn millions of euros, while their counterparts of the opposite sex only earn a few thousand euros. In addition, the television rights for football games show a ratio of 1 to 1,000 in adequacy.
The difference is strength, and the media also prevents us from being known around the world, so it's going to grow little by little, but I'm sure it will happen.
The only areas showing equality in wages, even though somewhat artificial, are alpine skiing, triathlon, and beach volleyball. In skiing, the numbers aren't complete because of the astronomical incomes of Olympic ski champion Lindsey Vonn, a female athlete who knows how to enjoy lucrative advertising contracts. In some other sport professions, women are beginning to compete with their male counterparts. In Peru, Nelfi Ibanez Guerra is one of the only coaches of a male football team.
I'm not macho. I think it's fine. I don't see any problem with it. It doesn't make a difference.
Women are similar to men in one sport, marathon running. Men are considered hares who tire quickly, while female runners show a better consistency. Maybe this is the evidence that the mixed competitions can exist.
Now to the NBA, where the struggling Los Angeles Lakers hosted the team with the best record in the league, the Indiana Pacers. The Lakers lost 16 of 19 ahead of this game and seemed to desperately wait for the return of Kobe Bryant from his second serious injury. But with the record being so dismal, even the Black Mamba will have a very hard time trying to take them to the playoffs. It was tied at 49 at halftime, George Hill scoring the last points of the visitors ahead of the break. Third quarter and the difference in talent becomes apparent. Lance Stevenson going to the hoop, making the three-point play. Stevenson can also do the work on the defensive end as he gets the steal to set up the jam by Paul George, and the Pacers are already up by 7. LA tried to keep it close, but just as the third quarter was ending, George hits from behind the arc to make it a 10-point game. Nothing the Lakers could do as Indiana continued to strike from downtown, eventually winning 104-92. Now to the East Coast, to what was once a great rivalry, but now is a meeting between two teams who have seen much better days. The New York Knicks hosting the Boston Celtics, and the Knicks finally seemed to find the rhythm as they left the team in green behind right from the beginning. They were up by 16 after 8 minutes of play and never looked back. Tyson Chandler here with a powerful alley-oop, and New York led by 26 at the break. Second half, more of the same. Carmelo Anthony was shooting from every possible corner. He was 3 of 5 from behind the arc, part of a solid performance in his standards, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. The fourth quarter was practically one very long garbage time. J.R. Smith getting the off-balance three-point play. The Knicks just kept on having fun on the way to a 114-88 victory. Now to the Winter Olympics beginning next Friday, and as surprising as it may sound, East Timor will be represented. Johan Gut, French on one side and East Timorese on the other, will compete in the slalom event, and even if he has no chance for a medal, it's the history he's making that is more important to him.
It's never snowed in East Timor, and there's no word for skiing. They call it snow skating. But that hasn't stopped 19-year-old Johan Gut Goncalves, who's about to become the tiny Pacific island's first athlete to compete in the Winter Olympics. He grew up in France with a French father and East Timorese mother, and aged 8, a friend joked he would one day represent East Timor at the Games. It's a joke he took seriously.
I started to train during my holidays, racing on weekends from the age of 12. So from 12 onwards, skiing became more intensive, and since June 2013, I've had the right to compete internationally for East Timor.
Funding his training is one of Johan's biggest challenges. It costs around €70,000 each season. But the novelty value of representing East Timor has helped him to find sponsors. He's appeared on television and radio shows across the globe and even met his country's president.
I gave him a small gift, my ski gloves. I think they were the first ski gloves in East Timor.
Johan even had to create East Timor's national skiing federation to be able to compete. He trains in Savoie in France with other athletes who don't have a national structure backing them, including people from Ireland, Romania, Israel and Australia.
He joined us in October, and straight away it felt right. The other athletes accepted him as he is. He's always smiling and he works very hard.
At Sochi, Johan will carry the national flag at the opening ceremony for the first time. East Timor only became independent in 2002 after years of occupation and violence. While he has little chance of making it to the podium, he hopes to make his country proud.
Now it's time for a tour around the world with some conventional sports and others not so much. The 25th edition of the Marathon de Marrakesh attracted more than 7,000 runners from a variety of countries, and as expected, the top 10 places in the men's race were shared by the two East African powerhouses. Ethiopia occupied 4 while Kenya scooped the other 6. Ethiopia's Robi Deribe Melka won the race with a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Algeria hosted the African Handball Championship and qualified to the final game against Tunisia. The atmosphere in the arena in Algiers was absolutely crazy, as the home team kept a small advantage throughout the game and finally secured the trophy after a 25-21 victory, giving way to massive celebrations. Cycling in France is not just the Tour de France. The finale of the UCI cyclocross season was held in Nome on the Swiss border, and it was not your usual race as there were mud and slippery stairs along the way. The finish was close as Belgian Tom Meusen held off local favorite Francis Moury right on the finish line. More mud tackling in England in the traditional tough guy competition. The grueling obstacle race, which involves a 13-kilometer course through freezing water, fire and energy-sapping mud, attracted more than 4,500 participants this year. Charles Frange from Germany was the winner with a time of 1 hour, 29 minutes and 21 seconds. And the giant waves of Northern California provided a great set for the Mavericks Invitational. 24 of the world's greatest big wave surfers were invited, but only one can win. This year, it was 40-year-old Grant Baker, considered one of the world's best wave riders. The trophy will now travel to his native South Africa. Now we go to the unique story of a disabled driver who returns to the racing track. Alexandari, former Formula One driver and Paralympic hand cycling champion, returned to motorsports for the first time since his 2009 retirement when testing his future BMW Z4 GT3. 47-year-old Italian who lost both legs in a horrific racing crash in 2001 trained on his specially equipped Z4, which uses adaptive brake pedals that can be operated by prosthetic legs. His first race will take place in Nogaro, France on April the 21st. Fans of Michael Schumacher, still hospitalized in France, gathered at the Spa racetrack in Belgium to support the German motorsports legend. The 7-time world champion remains in coma following a skiing accident. Schumacher has undergone surgery twice, but his condition is still defined as critical. The fans embarked on a march around the circuit, which was one of Schumacher's favorite during his career. He won the race here 6 times and is the most successful driver in the circuit's history. Hundreds of fans walked around the track carrying banners supporting Schumi and waving Ferrari flags. Many of them also wore Ferrari's red collar in show of solidarity. Sports are depicted many times in arts, and now it's time for football to be presented in an exhibition. Football the Beautiful Game celebrates naturally the world of football at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and reflects the global nature of the game. One example is a mini rendering of Rio's Maracana Stadium, where the World Cup final will be played in July, combining different action figures like Buddha, Jesus, and the Incredible Hulk. And that's it for today. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day.